Like most companies, you are trying to improve your SEO so that you can attract the right customer for your business. In this video, I am going to walk you through a template that I use with all of my clients that are wanting to drive SEO with their blog, as well as for my own business. This is the same template that I use to get quick and easy content out. Y'all know I love a checklist, and by the end of this, you are also going to have that little checklist to take away to make sure all your little SEO points and niggly bits are taken care of. What I love about this template is it really breaks through, and it's a rule whether you're dealing with a really complex industry and looking for B2B acquisition, or you're talking about like some light, fun, fluffier brands that you work with, and you're just trying to break through all of the lifestyle content that's out there and all that noise. I've used this to drive B2B acquisition in tech companies, and whether I was working on the marketing team and just bringing these questions to the actual expert who worked in AI or whatever it was that aren't necessarily my wheelhouse, I was able to get that actual content and solidify those facts and still put them into this template and then pump out a good piece of content based on the marketing stuff. That's the stuff that I know. So if you're looking for more marketing tips and staying up to date with the newest trends, especially when it comes to copywriting, you're in the right place. This is my channel. Subscribe and ring the bell so you get a notification, and leave me comments if you want to know something else or if I've left out a tip that you really love to use. So check it out. All right, let's jump into it. Now, this is a pretty meaty topic. There's a lot that you can go into and there's a ton of detail. What I'm going to lay out for you today is the simple steps that I go through and the kind of checklist that comes along with that. I'm also going to place this in the comment section so that you can actually go down there and literally copy and paste it out into a Word document and fill out the things that you want to go through and the questions that you want to ask if you're writing it for someone else. I'm going to use a very straightforward topic that most of you probably know about. We're going to talk about peanut butter and jelly. We'll use this example. So say I am a peanut butter company. I'm going to give the example of how we would drive SEO and become that expert in the field of peanut butter. So the first thing that we're going to do is start with our focus keyword. Now, the focus keyword is going to be the very specific thing about this blog that is important. So in the case of peanut butter, it might be peanut butter. However, if we were going to talk about things we wanted it to pair with, maybe it was celery, maybe it was a sandwich, maybe it was bread, who knows? But what you're going to do is in this one, find that keyword that you want, the focus keyword. And then we're going to choose 3 supporting keywords. So in this example, I would use jam, sandwich, and probably bread. Now, it's imperative that we use that focus keyword as the anchor in this entire piece of content. There's some places that it's absolutely critical that you place it, and that's going to be in the title, as close to the beginning of the title as possible. In the first sentence of your blog, again, as far close to the front as possible. In the URL, so make sure that you change the URL to include peanut butter. And then also in the meta description. So when you're on the back end of your blog, make sure that little meta description, that's the first thing that pops up when people are Google searching, that's what they're gonna see. So before we start the writing part, I want you to lay this out, and it's gonna feel a lot like 6th grade English class, but that's exactly what it should be. It should be super simple, easy to understand. And even if you have a really complex product and you're working in B2B and selling software that's super intense and you're trying to sell it to a marketing team who's not on the tech team, whatever it is, you need to be able to simplify that and make the reader understand it while also giving Google exactly what they want to index that content. So the biggest mistake I see people make is that they really try and pour all of their expertise into one piece. Don't pour content into one piece that could be like 7 blogs. Why rip yourself off of that great content? So we're gonna keep it super simple, super straightforward, and very easy to understand while focusing on those keywords. So the way that we break this down, no matter what you are explaining, we're gonna start with an intro, point 1, point 2, point 3, and a conclusion. Now, I'll get into each of those steps in a second, but it's really important that we think about it this way. It doesn't have to be exactly 5 paragraphs. That's not what I'm saying. But if we think in that way, we become more concise and only share the information that is absolutely vital. Okay, so if we use our peanut butter example, we're gonna start off with our intro, which is going to kind of tell us about everything that's to come. By the end of this, you'll know the best way to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So point 1 might be all about sourcing ingredients. So you'd have a quick few sentences on that, making sure to include obviously our key focus word, as well as those supporting focus words as often as possible. So maybe point 2, I'm gonna make an argument for jam versus jelly. So that'll be what the entire paragraph is about, and we'll go into those steps. So the origins of that, you throw in a stat if you can, maybe you reference a quote to someone else, who used the first jelly, who made the first jam. I don't know, it's a whole paragraph on preserves and which ones are the best. Point 3 could be about combining all of those things. So bringing it all together, maybe using a panini press, all of those things that make it, when you have the sourced ingredients, when you have the right jam or jelly, here's how we're gonna actually put it together. So that's all that point 3 is about. We're gonna get into detail about that and show your expertise. Then at the end, we write a conclusion. Again, back to 6th grade, what do you do in the conclusion? You echo the intro, but talk about what you learned about. So it's a little synopsis saying, this is what you know, this is what you've taught people, and telling them that if they want more information like that, to come back to you because you are the expert and they should learn more. So once your blog is written and you've made sure that you use those keywords, the focused and the supporting, we're still not quite done yet if we really want to capitalize on that SEO. The next few steps are a little bit more of the behind the scenes things that are going to help you really drive that traffic. So it's really important that we use hyperlinks. So hyperlinks are when you highlight a piece of content, a little word or anything on the sentence, however long you want it to be. I don't recommend more than a sentence. And that will send someone somewhere else on the internet. So we can use internal links, which go to somewhere on our website. We can use external links, which are going to send people somewhere else on the World Wide Web. An example of using a strong internal hyperlink is sending someone to a product page. So while you're talking about the peanut butter, send them directly to the one that you would suggest. Or maybe you say, it's up to you whether you use smooth, hyperlinked to the smooth peanut butter, or crunchy peanut butter, hyperlinked to the crunchy peanut butter. Now you've given people options to buy either one of your products. And it's also great to send them to your other blog content. Tell them that, hey, I don't just know about peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, I also know about a lot of different kinds of sandwiches, actually. Let's talk photos. The content, of course, is very important and it's really easy to index words in a content piece. However, the pictures are really important too, and there's a few reasons. One, they can really slow down your page load time. What does that mean? Steph, that's kind of speaking in technical terms, I know, but what that means is that it's too heavy and it takes a long time for it to be processed. So if it's a really heavy file, like 1 megabyte, for example, it's gonna take a lot of time, especially if you're using data. That's gonna be something that slows down your page a lot. So my rule of thumb is to use a JPEG in the lowest quality possible that still doesn't look crappy. Make sure that when you're testing this, you look at the mobile version as well as a web version because you don't want it to look really good on a mobile phone when it's only this big, but then you switch it over to a bigger screen and it's all pixelated and crappy. So just bear in mind there is a difference between photo size and photo weight. So the size is like pixels across by pixels high, but there's also weight that, shows the quality, and you really don't need the same quality on something that's going to be read on mobile as you do if you're printing out a giant billboard that needs to be seen from 2 miles away. So just bear in mind there is a difference in that quality and weight versus the actual size of it. The next thing we're going to do is add the alt text to those photos. So no one sees the alt text. This is just so that Google can help index this. And actually originally what alt text was for was that so someone who is visually impaired could get to a picture in an article or something along those lines, and they could actually have read to them what was in the image that they weren't able to see. So this is a very straightforward description of the photo. This doesn't need to be written like a beautiful poem or anything else romanticized. It can literally be an exact description. So let's use this example of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There it is, look at it, it's gorgeous. So all I would literally write here is making sure to use my focus keyword and then also those supporting keywords that we talked about. So it would say something to the effect of a peanut butter and jam sandwich, of course, starting off with that keyword. Peanut butter and jam sandwich sits on a plate made on white bread, posted on the blog for Stephanie McCauley at Broadworld. So you might wonder why I would include my brand name, and in my case, I used my first and last name as well. So my brand is really driven by me as a person, so I would use my personal name. If it's just a brand, I would only attach the brand to that, but it's really important to have the keyword attached to that brand. So to have the product and keyword attached to that brand name, now the next time that they come up together, Google's machine learning is going to realize that those two things are sort of associated somehow. And it just gives you bonus points again with the SEO. If your company is hyper-localized as well or regionalized, it's important to use your city name or the country or anything else that will really identify that you want that indexed with and you want that related to. This is your opportunity to tell Google, hey, look, we're associated with this thing. Another great benefit of alt text is that it helps index you on Google image search as well. So in that blog about peanut butter and jam sandwiches, maybe I have one that's really straightforward. Maybe I have one that I've given some alt text to that talks about easy kids sandwiches, because it's in the paragraph that I'm talking about how easy and quick these are as kids sandwiches or in kids lunches. Now, when someone types in easy kids lunches, they're gonna get a picture from my peanut butter and jelly sandwich and might click through to it and all of a sudden have another interaction with my brand name or be introduced to it for the first time. That's my go-to way to write a blog, no matter how complex or simple it is. I've actually left the directions exactly for you in the comments section, so go and check those out, copy, paste, try it, and let me know what you think about it. Was this helpful for you? If yes, please comment PB and J in the comment section below. I'd love to know what challenges you most when you're writing a content piece for SEO. Maybe it's knowing what keywords you should even be using. Maybe it's that your topic is really detailed and you're not sure what to include into it. Leave those for me in the comment section because I would love to help you out with another video. You can always stay up to date with me day to day for little tidbits along the way on Instagram at broad_world.